Hi guys, so it's a long awaited pickup. So I haven't done a pickups for ages. Well, I actually uploaded one a month or two ago, but I filmed that back in November. So this is like 9 months worth of pickups here, and there's not a whole lot. There's a fair bit, but I don't pick up a whole lot these days. But loads of good stuff here, really good stuff. We've got some stuff from Christmas even. Half of it I can't remember where it came from or how much it cost, so you're gonna have to bear with me. But yeah, love a good old pickup. It's nice to sit in front of the camera for a change and do one, which I don't do that often these days. So I'll just do them in any random order. So first of all, my Super Famicom died. I bought an EverDrive, a Crix EverDrive for it a while back, and put my EverDrive in, and the Super Famicom decided to die. And I do have a Super Nintendo, but I prefer using the Super Famicom and hooking up the Super Famicom for obvious reasons. So I put a post up on Facebook on maybe a couple of groups saying, is anyone selling a Super Famicom console only? And James Busubi messaged me from Japan and said, look, I've got one, you can have it. Yeah, and just sent me a really nice condition, no yellowing or anything, really nice condition Super Famicom for absolutely nothing, all the way from Japan. Thank you so much, James, for that. Much appreciated. Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, like, you know, just another example of why the community is so great. Really generous. So yeah, a couple of cool bits here. This one is something that I already owned, but earlier this year I went to see Scott Brand, and we filmed an episode of In the House, which you may have seen. But while we were up there, we went up to the Cambridge Computer Museum and we saw a talk by John Romero, and we got to meet John Romero afterwards. So he signed my Big Box Doom 2. So you can see there, he signed it up here, which is awesome. And he was loving the fact that I had the 3.5-inch floppy version of Doom 2 in nice condition, and his wife loved it as well. It was great. Yeah, really nice to meet him. Scott and I had such a great time. Duncan was up there, Golden Age Gamer. Yeah, it was a really great night, and this game actually came from Duncan originally. So yeah, really chuffed. And you'll notice it's in an acrylic case. So these are made by Adrian Fields, who runs a company called, I believe they're called PR Displays, and you basically send him the dimensions of anything you want to protect, and he will custom make an acrylic case. And these things are like rock solid, and this fits like a glove. It's absolutely perfect. I sent him the dimensions. It looks absolutely awesome. So I'll leave a link to Adrian's Facebook group and website in the description. So if you need to protect anything in your collection and you need an acrylic case, you can just chuck Adrian a message and he will custom make it for you, and the prices are really reasonable. I also have my Shenmue 1 and 2 in a couple of his cases over there, so they, you know, they suit all sorts. Anything you want to protect, he can make a case. So after I asked him to make a case for my Doom 2, he messaged me saying, look, do you have any games that are the same size? Because he made a kind of test one before he made my one, which he wasn't happy with, and I could have it for free. So I have a look through my games and, okay, which of my big box PC games are actually the same dimensions? And there were 2 games. There was TIE Fighter, and there was another LucasArts game, which is Dark Forces. So sorry for the glare, I'm right by the window here. So yeah, he sent me this absolutely free, and God knows what he thought was wrong with it, but it looks perfect to me. So thank you so much for that, Adrian. Yeah, really chuffed with that. So got a couple of awesome acrylic cases for my couple of my big box PC games there. I don't have a huge big box PC collection due to space, but I love my big box Amiga and PC games, and I do have a fair few, and they're currently under the bed, hidden away, which is a shame. And I kind of, you could probably tell this is in disarray a bit because I'm having a bit of a change round, and I'm going to see if I can maybe work some of my big box stuff into the display here rather than having it hidden away, like, you know, over half the collection is hidden away really. So yeah, while we're on the case with the big box stuff, Steve Baker, aka Sinisteve, sent me a message that this game was on a certain website, and he always looks after me, Steve. He always he's always aware of what people are after, and he was aware I was looking for this for a good while, and he messaged me saying, look, it's on so and so website. I forget the website. It was one of these little independent websites that sells games, and yeah, it was 20 quid, and that is Big Box Day of the Tentacle. Now, I have a Big Box Day of the Tentacle, but it's one of the budget versions, you know, the re-releases, like with the white box outline and everything. But I wanted the original artwork, and this is really nice, Nick. It's yeah, really good. And like I said, 20 quid. This thing goes for at least 40 on eBay, at least. But yeah, it's the floppy disk version. The only downside was it didn't have a manual, so I was kind of stressing, oh, where am I going to get a manual? Where am I going to get a manual from? Started looking at auctions on eBay just in case, but you know, what's the chances? And then it wasn't until about a month ago, I've had this for ages, it wasn't until about a month ago that I thought, hang on, I haven't even looked in my old budget version of the Day of the Tentacle, because quite often they include the normal gubbins, but it's just the box that's different, and that's the CD version. But on Day of the Tentacle, the CD and the floppy manual are the same, because they cover both within the manual. And yeah, lo and behold, it had the manual in it, my old budget version, so I've now completed this for 20 quid, so well chuffed with that. And it had the little reference card in there as well, IBM reference card, and it's you know, how to load up your floppy or your CD on DOS or whatever. So yeah, those of you that know me know that Day of the Tentacle is one of my all-time favourite games. Huge LucasArts fan, huge fan of you know, Tim Schafer and Dave Grossman, and I just love this game. And even though I'm probably not going to play this floppy disk version, it's the box and the nostalgia and having that that I wanted, you know, and I'm sure there's a lot of you that can appreciate that. Yeah, and then this one was when I went to see Scott, like I said, and we went to see John Romero. He gave me some Christmas bits because he had me for Galaxy Sega admin Secret Santa, so I'm ruining the secret part of the Secret Santa, but hey, yeah, so yeah, he got me some bits and I was just absolutely blown away. He got me some really cool stuff that he knew as well that I've been after, and that really mean a lot to me, so couldn't be more happy. So the first thing he got me was another big box game, Sam and Max, and again a big box LucasArts game, and another one of my favourites. Just, I love LucasArts adventures, and kind of Monkey Island's Day of the Tentacle and this are up there, you know, some of my all-time favourite games. And yeah, I think he kind of went through a few eBay auctions and lost a few, and this and that happened. I think maybe even won one and it didn't turn up, but eventually got this, and he said even when it turned up he couldn't believe how good condition it was. I mean, it's almost brand new. I can't fault it. It's absolutely fucking amazing. I love it. So if we just open it up and have a gander. So again, you've got the IBM reference card in there, and it's got the manual, aka the Crime Stoppers colouring book, and yeah, all the floppy disks. So absolutely chuffed with that. I've got two games there that I've been after for years, and you know, you guys know what I'm like. I could go on eBay like 5 years ago and just buy those games, but I'm constantly searching for that bargain and for that absolutely mint copy, you know, and then just two of them kind of came along at once. So yeah, really chuffed with that. I'm just going to put this tissue paper back in the box here because protects it nicely. So yeah, hopefully I can work a couple of these big boxes and some of my Amiga big boxes into the display here. We'll see. I'm going to have a little fiddle around once I record this video. Now, what else did Scott get me? Maybe we'll come back to that in a bit because everything is like in a pile and I can't really get to it. But yeah, there's more to come from Scott. So yeah, this was a random eBay, not eBay, Facebook purchase. So a guy was selling a load of empty Neo Geo Pocket cases, and he had these two, Samurai Showdown 2 and Card Fighters Clash, Capcom Card Fighters Clash. And it just so happens these are the only two games I own that aren't boxed, so I have loose cards. So I was like, yes please, bang. I think it was 20 quid the pair. So now completed those two games, and my Neo Geo Pocket collection is entirely complete, what I have at least. Another random Facebook purchase. So this is my first Atari Lynx, unbelievably. Atari Lynx 2. It came with the little manual and two games. They're loose games, so we've got Electrocop and Steel Talons, and I think it was maybe 35 quid posted for the bundle, and I was happy with that. Annoyingly, I sold off all my Atari Lynx games because I kind of had a very small amount of Atari Lynx games that I built up over the years, but I kind of gave up finding a Atari Lynx cheap, so I just got rid of them, and then I get an Atari Lynx. So I don't know, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to play through a few games and see how I get on with the system and decide whether that's going to stay and I start buying a few games for it, or whether I'm going to move it on. I don't know. It's a bit touch and go with handhelds really at the moment, because I don't have much time to play handhelds apart from, it seems, Advance Wars 2 on the Game Boy Advance, which I cannot stop playing at all. So yeah, nice to have a Lynx anyway. I've never had one. Sometimes it's just nice to have them for a bit, even if you don't intend on keeping it, but you never know, it might stay. Now this was a purchase from Scott Brand, Sega Zombie, and it's for a system that I always said, look, I'm not going to collect for this system, and I'm still not collecting for this system, but these two games were really cheap, and I thought, look, I'll get them and I'll give them a bash and just, you know, see how it goes. And that's the 32X. So we've got Doom there, and Star Wars Arcade. And he did me these dirt cheap, so it was too good a price to pass up. And the 32X will get some use. Normally I just use the EverDrive on the 32X. So yeah. We'll see how we go with those. Cheers for that, Scott. Oh god, this one's from ages ago. This one, I don't know how long I've had this, because every time I do pickups I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to show that. And that's a modded Dreamcast stick. So you may have seen I have a modded Dreamcast stick just like this, which works on my Xbox, my original Xbox, which Beaps made. And yeah, I kind of wanted one for the Dreamcast as well, so I have three Dreamcast sticks. So I have one that's in the box, just normal with the green buttons, just untouched. Well, not unplayed, I've used it, but it hasn't been modified in any way. Then we got the one for the Xbox, and then this one. So this is Seimitsu parts that I bought and just basically sent Beeps the stick and the parts, and he fitted it all for me. Absolutely fantastic. Legend as always, and yeah, really chuffed. That is just such a nice stick now, and it's got such a better weight to it. I don't know why it's so heavy actually, but it's got such a better weight than the kind of stock one. But obviously the Seimitsu stick and the buttons are so much nicer than the ones you get with the you know, with the standard Dreamcast stick. And I went for the old Dreamcast layout, same as you have on the controller, because I like that. I like the way it looks. So that is awesome, really chuffed with that. Two Mega Drive games. We got two Japanese Mega Drive games. Cannot remember where these came from. This was an age ago. Can't remember how much I paid for them. Shit, I can't remember. What's this game called? Is this like called Shiten Miyu or something? Shiten Miyu or something? I can't remember, man, what it's called. But if anyone knows, oh, there we go. It says in the manual inside, it's got a Genesis manual. Shadow Blasters, that's it. Couldn't remember the Western name. So Shadow Blasters, it was a game that I've always been kind of intrigued to try, and thought I'd grab it. But yeah, it's kind of a, you know, like a scrolling game, like, oh, I mean, I suppose akin to like Shinobi or Castlevania kind of style. And I also got in the same bundle Dino Land, which intrigued me because it's made by Wolf Team, and they've got some really awesome Japanese exclusives that I love in the collection, and I thought I'd give this one a go. But it's a pinball game, yeah, so why not? Like I said, I can't remember how much they were, but they were reasonable. This one, it's a little bit of a weird one if I take it out of the wrapper. This is a book. Now, I think it was Matt Metropolis who posted a picture of this, that he picked it up at one of the Comic-Cons or something, or one of the gaming expos, and I was like, I have to buy that. And that is, it's called Point and Click by Andrew Scaife. And what it is it's a little book of pixel art, and it's imagining if certain TV shows were adventure games, if you will. And when I ordered it, the guy sent me a signed copy. I assume that's just what he does. But yeah, this is just ridiculously good. You see, you've got Breaking Bad there. I'll show you some close-ups on some of them, but sorry the battery died there. So yeah, just show you more of the book. We've got Always Sunny there. Love that show. Yeah, just awesome. They're just basically scenes from one from Lost where they blow the hatch there. It's just awesome. It's like the old point and clicks. There's loads of Buffy as well. Whoever was like, you know, this Andrew guy obviously loves his Buffy, because there's a load of like bonus Buffy ones in the back. But yeah, if you're a fan of pixel art, I cannot recommend this book enough. It's really cheap. I'll leave a link to it down in the description. It is fantastic. I love pixel art and I love adventure games, the LucasArts sort of Scum style, and I'm big on TV shows, so not all the TV shows in here that I'm a fan of, but a lot of them I am, and it's just such a great book. Thoroughly recommend that. This one was, I think this was from Stuart Marshall on Galaxy Sega. It's not a Sega game, it was a deal we did via PM, but it's Taito Legends 2 on the PS2. Not often I pick up a PS2 game, but he sold me this really cheap, and this has got some awesome games on. It's got like Darius on there, Arabian Magic, Poochie Karat. Yeah, I mean, it's got all the usuals like Space Invaders and all that, but it's got some fucking awesome games. I'm sure there was one game in particular that I was really interested in, maybe one of the beat 'em ups. Growls on there, I forget, but anyway, there's a ton of games on here. I don't know how many, does it say how many games there are? But there must be like 20-30 games on here. He sold me that for like £5 or something, so that's awesome. Yeah, really chuffed with that. Cheers, Stu. This turned up. Now, if anyone has backed Toe Jam and Earl, Back to the Groove, they would have got this as well a while back, so it's like a little concept art book, and it's got a CD soundtrack in there, which is awesome. I wasn't expecting that at all. I didn't know I was going to be getting that, so that's always nice. So you've just got a little book of concept art, which is awesome. I think when I backed it, I chose the big box limited PC version, so hopefully that's kind of the same size as the big box and I can put it in there when it comes. These I think were on Galaxy Sega, and they are the Sega Power Tips books, volumes 1, 2 and 3. I think that's as many volumes as they were, but there's so much nostalgia for me with these. I absolutely loved these as a kid. You know, days before the internet, when you had your Mega Drive and you had to look up the cheats in here. So it's got a bit about each game, a little bit of spiel, and then some cheats. So yeah, I mean, it's absolutely awesome. Really cool. I may actually use this. I know I could go online and look up the cheats, but if I ever want to look at cheats, I may just use this. I don't know if you can hear my cat whinging in the background there, but apologies if you can. Right, the only two modern pickups I've got for the last 9-10 months is these two games. Now these are two PS Vita games, and I don't really pick up PS Vita games. In fact, prior to this, to getting these two, I had two. So most of them is just digital on my Vita, and I just pick them up when they're cheap. And these two popped up really cheap on Facebook. It was ages ago, I can't remember when, but Sonic and Sega Transformed, which is awesome, and Wipeout 2048. Now I have both of those downloaded on the Vita already anyway, but when they're cheap I do like to pick them up for the collection, and obviously digital games don't last forever. Now this is the other item from Scott. We're going back to Scott brand Sega Zombie. This is the other part of my Secret Santa. Now he knows I love this game, and you can see my Cadillacs and Dinosaurs marquee on the bar top there. Absolutely love Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, and he got me #1 of the American Cadillacs and Dinosaurs comic, and I've never read these. I love the artwork, because that's some of the artwork that they actually use to promote the game. So yeah, really chuffed with that. It's in really nice nick. So like I said, really thoughtful gifts, the Sam & Max and the comic from Scott. Really thoughtful and absolutely perfect for me. Maybe Scott can give my friends and family some tips on gifts this Christmas. Right, this one I actually got last week. It popped up on Facebook, and I have been meaning to upgrade this. This is an upgrade, and it's purely because I had the where is it? It's around here somewhere, the budget version, and it's Hogs of War. It's one of my favourite PS1 games. Really good fun. I've got great memories of going around my mate Paul's house, and we used to play this all night. If you haven't played it, it's like 3D Worms. So it's turn-based, and you each get a little team of pigs, and you've got to just fight each other, and you get turns like you do in Worms. But it's really good, really good game. But even if you get the black spine version, some of the fronts are, you know, it's this case cover, but it's inset, and then it's got like budget or whatever, you know, like the budget or the kicks or whatever release it was. And it always kind of did my head in that I didn't have this original one that we used to play back in the day. And I just kind of kept my eye out for years, and that one popped up cheap, so I will be moving my other one on. My other one's complete, they're both complete. It's just for the sake of having that same case that I had when I was a kid, you know. This is quite a recent one as well, and this is going to replace what I currently use, and that is a Blaze Exploder for the Dreamcast, which allows me to play imports. Now currently I use an Action Replay CDX, but it's a bit clunky. You have to plug something into the controller as well as run the CD, and it works perfectly. That's how I've always played my imports, and I know I can just burn one, but I always like to use the official CD. So yeah, chuffed to get the Blaze one. I don't have to mess around with the controller, and I will use that for my imports, and I'll sell the other one on. What else we got? Oh yeah, I must remember to show you this. Almost forgot. So I got this ages ago. It's on top of the B&O at the moment, but it's this little controller stand for my one of my Nintendo 64 controllers. Now the Nintendo 64 I currently have is the orange one, and this is the controller for it, so that's kind of just on the B&O for if and when I want to play N64. But this guy Adrian, not Adrian, that's Adrian who made the other case. This guy's called Michael, and I forget the name of his company. Shit, you know what? I'm thinking now that this is PR Displays and Adrian's is something else. But I can't remember. Whatever they are, I'll leave links in the description to both guys. But this guy I know has a Facebook page, but I got chatting to him on, I think it was Retro Realm. And yeah, any controller you have, he will make a stand for. Now you can see you choose the base colour to go with the controller you're going to use on it. It's got a little N64 logo on there, and he makes these so that you can wind the controller round, and then it's got a little gap there. Can you see that? Where you plug the end in, so like so. Once you've wrapped the controller round around there, you plug it in there. Genius. And these look awesome. I think they're $7.50 each, whatever controller you want, and that's not bad for a custom little Perspex stand. So yeah, there's definitely Michael, it's definitely Adrian who makes the other ones. Just getting the business names mixed up maybe, I don't know, but I'll rectify all that in the description. And then last of all, guys, the very last things is 2 Japanese Saturn games. Now one was an upgrade. Now again, much like Hogs of War, I had this game, but it was the re-released version, and I wanted the normal version, and it popped up for a good price, so I grabbed it, and that is Dodonpachi on the Saturn, which is awesome. One of my favourite games on the Saturn, one of my favourite vertical shooters for sure. It's really, really good, fun, really great Atlas shooter. So yeah, I had the Satakore, or whatever you call it, version with the white around the edge, so I upgraded that. Now I went to sell my old version, and someone said, hey, would you trade for this? And I said yes, because I've been after this game. He kind of offered to pay some money as well, because maybe Dodonpachi was worth a bit more, but I just said, look, let's just trade. I'm happy to trade. And that game is In the Hunt, which I had a burnt copy of, but have kind of kept one eye open, so really chuffed to essentially get that for free just through a trade. It was a guy on Galaxy Sega, I forget who it was. But yeah, if you haven't played In the Hunt, it's kind of Metal Sluggy graphics, and you're a submarine, basically. It does suffer from a bit of slowdown on the Saturn, but hey, there you go. And I think that, oh no, there's more. I left some stuff on the floor. One sec. Oh dear. There is more. Oh Jesus Christ. There's a mess in here. You probably tell since since my camera battery died that I've been making use of myself by rearranging everything, and there's stuff everywhere. So this was something that I got off of the Facebook group Retro Tech 100, and a guy called Benny who has got a channel called Hermit's Hideaway, which I'll link in the description. And he was selling this, or no, I think, do you know what it was? I think someone was selling this and he bought it, he just beat me to it, and then because he knew I'd been interested in it, he decided he didn't want it anymore, and then he sold it on. So he messaged me saying I could have it for the same price. He sold me this 15 quid, guys. Really, really generous, nice price. And it's, yeah, it's an Amiga disk drive. So, so an extra disk drive for the Amiga 1200. And it came with an absolute stack of discs. So there's mostly backups in here, but there are a few originals like James Pond. The Settlers is in there, Bo Jolly, which, oh no, Skyfox 2, and then yeah, just a load of like backup games. So awesome, thank you very much for that. And then last of all, which, oh no, it's not last of all, I was going to just say I hope it's last of all, but I've got some records here if anyone's interested in seeing them. They are video game soundtracks, and I have bought an absolute ton of records in the last 9 months, but I'm not going to show any of that. My normal record pickups, just to show the video game stuff. But yeah, I bought these 2 controllers the other day on some Facebook group or other, and they were dirt cheap. I think they were like 20 quid the pair posted. So they're like the GameCube controllers for the Wii. So you got a what's his name, Pikachu, and a Luigi one there. But yeah, nice, can't go wrong. A couple of controllers for the Wii, 20 quid, and they are like, you know, mint condition. They look like they haven't even been used, to be frank, which is great. So yeah, records. We haven't got many. We've only got 3 like video game records. Like I said, I've been buying a lot of records, but not video game stuff. So this one I got ages ago. I'm sure I've showed that one before, the Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon one. So yeah, I got this one, which is the follow-up Trials of the Blood Dragon, which is just awesome. So that original soundtrack, yeah, they are both by Power Glove, and I'm a massive fan of Power Glove anyway, so it's like a no-brainer to get this. So you get some cool artwork there, and I can't remember if these records are coloured or what they are. Oh yeah, they're like luminous pink records, this one, which is awesome. But yeah, amazing soundtrack, really chuffed to get that, and I got it on sale on some website or other that sells them, and it was really cheap. It was like 13 quid on sale or something. And then if you've guys seen my Shadow of the Colossus video, I got the Shadow of the Colossus double soundtrack as well. So chuffed with those, they'll go up there with the rest of the records. So yeah, that was an absolute ton of stuff from the last 9 months, and the video's probably dragged on a little bit longer than I would like, but that's what happens when you don't do pickups for ages. I guess I'll try and do one, you know, a little bit sooner next time and not let it all build up. But yeah, I hope everyone's well. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon, guys. Peace.